Hello, hello, and welcome to another episode of Kelly's Wordy Reactions. Today, I would like to do a reaction to the very controversial average at best comment and on the platform of the man that it was on the platform of. Okay, so we're talking about a few things in this my unique video and perspective. Okay, all right, so I had lots of thoughts. Okay, number one, some of my favorite pastors, teachers, leaders, people that I get instruction from, people that I get really good wisdom from are men. And thank God for their wisdom. I appreciate the things that I've been able to glean from them that have worked, that have been a blessing to my life, that have manifested good outcomes and results for me. So thank God for them. However, when I was thinking about what I would have to contribute to this conversation, I thought about the fact that in the Bible, in the book of Titus, God says very specifically that older women, and we're talking about in Titus, this is a letter to the churches. So it's a little bit different. We're not just talking about the world, at large. We're talking about Christian people who were believers, and they were getting instruction on how to carry out their day-to-day functions and how to remain positioned well, and how to carry on and just do and be. So the letter was written to the church, so to speak. Okay, so I was talking about the scripture. In Titus that gives us insight into how we ought to get our instruction. And like I said before, nevertheless, I totally appreciate all the wisdom that I've ever been able to get from men. But I believe that God is right. And I believe, and this is what I believe, you can be inspired by what I believe and, run with that, or you can not believe what I believe at all. It's totally up to you. But this is what I believe. I believe God is right, and I believe that his way that he has for us to do things is always best, even though we might not see why or understand at the time. I believe that he's right. So I do believe that it's best when we can get our advisement from other women, from older women. I'm pretty sure one reason that you're getting the advice, or that he's instructing the church to be advised by older women, is because they have seen things, they have experienced things, they understand what to do, and they understand on a deeper level why you need to do things a certain way. They can give examples, testimonials. They can really teach if someone will, if they will be heard out by the younger women. So I'm saying all this to say I believe that these questions and conversations would be best had between women, and would the answers and the advice would come from a better place if women were asking other women these questions, and if they had other women who were truly invested in them, and not just invested in themselves and their own come up, so to speak. But they're truly lovingly invested in helping people get good results in their own life. I believe that these conversations would be people would be much better served, asking these questions within those confines, within the relationship that they would have between either a female coach, or a female mentor, a female minister, a female counselor, just a good old-fashioned female sister in the church. So okay, that goes in with number one. When I looked at this video, when I looked at the whole video, because I had heard about the video, I'd heard what I thought was the gist of it. It was really actually so much worse. It was so much worse than what I even initially thought it was. Because I'm going to tell you, initially, I thought, how in the world can this woman sit here and listen to somebody tell her who she can't have and what type of person she can't have? Even if she is not in a place where she even feels that she can get a man who might be a CEO of a company, or a lawyer, or a doctor. Let's face it, there are some barbers and truck drivers that make six figures. We're talking about, they didn't say $100,000 a year or $800,000 a year. They didn't say that. They said they were basing this conversation around her getting to the point of saying that she thought that she might need a six-figure earning man because she's a six-figure earning woman. So it took a minute to work around to it, but that was the eventual outcome, was that she didn't like her interactions that she'd been having with people that were not earning on her level. And she felt like maybe perhaps she needs to, I don't know, figure out how she can get to the point of attracting these higher earning men. But, you know, I just kept thinking, honestly, I kept thinking that there's pools and pools of men that she's probably overlooking. And maybe in her thought process, they don't have as much as she thinks they have. But, you know, you can, you know, surely, most assuredly, come across some barbers while you're taking your son. She did say she had a 13-year-old son. While you're taking your son to the barber shop, and you can come across some drivers and delivery drivers and independent couriers, and I mean, you can come across some people, let me think, I don't know, plumbers. I mean, you can come across some people who are six-figure earners that you probably just maybe you're not looking at them in that light, and you haven't really discovered who all could be in that six-figure earner category. Because you know, let's face it, there was nothing wrong with this lady. There was nothing wrong with the lady. Now, to men, of course, she has some things that are, you know, a certain kind of man is going to count as a strike against her. But all she really needs is a man who is very attracted to her. And once she gets a man who's very attracted to her, not that she's very attracted to him, she needs a man who's very attracted to her, and who, and she needs to be found by this man in places where those type of men can be found. So, in other words, she would need to put herself in the position to go to the places where she can come across the men that she's looking for, but they can actually find her. Because back to the Bible, another scripture is that the man who finds a wife finds a good thing. So this is it's short, but it's saying a lot. First of all, the man needs to find you. So you don't need to preoccupy yourself with finding a man. You need to preoccupy yourself with putting yourself in a position to be found. And then you need to be a wife before you become a wife. So you need to get yourself together. You need to get yourself together. And you know, what I was hearing her, when I was hearing her express herself on why she was a good catch, part of her getting herself together needs to be getting an education on what men actually want out of women. And this goes back into, you know, finding a good, knowledgeable, wise woman to listen to. And even some men, not that man, but some men, but finding a good, knowledgeable, wise, you know, woman to listen to let you know what it is that a man is looking for out of you when he, when he finds you. When he finds you, then he wants, you're found by him, but then he goes on the journey of checking to see, are you a wife? And that's saying a lot. It probably would need to be in a whole other video. But are you a wife? And I don't think that she has it very clear in her understanding what a man who's finding her and then looking to see what type of woman are you? Are you a wife? Are you a prostitute? Are you getting ready to, are you easy? Are you slutty? Are you freaky? Are you, who are you? Do you think that are you just a mother? Do you think you're getting ready to be my mother? Are you a boss? Do you think you're going to be my boss? Most of these things a man is not looking for. They don't go in with being his wife. Okay. So, if you're going to be a man's wife, he's really not looking for you to show him that you're a freak, because if you're a freak, then 9.9 times out of 10 you have freaked a lot of other people. You're not my wife. If you're a slut, then 9.9 times out of 10 you've been slutty with man after man after man way before you met me. That's not my wife. Are you a mother and you think you're my mother? Well, that's not my wife. My wife is just my wife is going to be a beautiful lady who knows how to carry herself, who has the potential to raise my children and be the woman of my household. And she's beautiful, she's elegant, she's compassionate, she's kind, she's patient, she's loving, but she's not a lot of these other things. She has the capacity to be a mother, but she's not trying to be the mother of me, because I'm a grown man. I had a mother already. She's has the capacity. She's sexy and beautiful. She has the capacity to be my sex object, but she's not out here, spreading it for me or anybody else at this time, because she's waiting and saving herself for her husband. So these are the things that you have to be found having. A man is not looking for you to be his business partner if he's already a six-figure earner and he has his stuff together. So he's not looking for you to be his business partner. He's not looking for you to be his business guide. He's not looking for you to enrich him in any way as far as financial gain, because you're looking to be found by the man who already has his business together, correct? So he doesn't need you for that. He needs you to be well put together. He needs you to, he needs you to be taking care of yourself. And whatever it is that you're doing for your financial stability, yes, it's nice to know that you are capable, but whatever it is that you have going on, the great man that you want is not going to need any part of that. So it's really just you being the best you that you can be, being, well put together, and being, poised, and having grace, and having love and passion for whatever it is that you do, compassion, and just really being able to show that you have values, and you have standards, and you could be the woman of his household and the mother of his children, and you respect him, and you carry yourself with dignity, and that's about it. It's broad, but it's simple, and I think we have to just really reel in our perspective, because sometimes it seems that people are kind of all over the place when it comes to what we think about what men want from us. And that comes from a lot of places, but it can be easily remedied and fixed, and with some practice, you can be whoever you want to be, and you can achieve whatever you want to achieve. And I would just say to that young lady, who had no college degree, and who set up a business and was able to scale her business to 6 figures in 3 years. Well, no, she'd been doing her business 9 years, so it took her 6 years to get to 6 figures, but for the past 3 years she's been at 6 figures. This is amazing. And so if you got yourself to that point, then you can get yourself financially and business wise, then you can get yourself to whatever point you need to be for yourself, your what makes up you, okay? And just coming to the understanding of what it is that, how it is that you need to position yourself, what you need to build on the inside of yourself, and then how you need to position yourself to attract the type of man that you want. And, so really, all in all, it's just really about clarity, I would say. I would say that, we just have to get clear and convinced on what it is that our role is as women inside of a relationship. And once we get that clarity, and once we get that focus, and move forward, and I tell you, most of it is just about investing in you, investing in yourself, investing in your knowledge, investing in yourself emotionally, investing in your spirit and your soul, investing in your mental health, investing in just spending time with you, and finding out, how do I like myself? How do I present myself to me in the best possible way, to where I'm happy and pleased with everything that I present. When I show up, even when I show up to myself in the mirror, have I exercised? Have I develop my muscles? Do I look as good as I want to look in my body? Before I put any clothes on, is my body okay? Okay, have I invested in the food that I eat so that I feel good, so that my body has the nourishment that it needs? You know, the physical fitness that I need. Have I invested in all that? Have I invested in my skin? Have I invested in my hair? Have I invested in my nails? You know, have I invested in you know, the perfumes that I like to wear, so that I like the way that I smell, and I like the aura that I walk around exuding. And you know, have I read, you know, have I read any books that I enjoy? Have I read any books that build me up, things that interest me? You know, have I gotten into everything that interests me, or everything that builds me up, everything that makes me better? Have I gotten into all of that so that I can be the best me that I can be? Not to show someone, you know, I have all this, I have this, I've done this, I've done that. No, just to be. Just when you show up, all of that shows up with you, and it's just for you to be. And ultimately, it's part of what you give to yourself, is part of what you give to your children, and that confidence and that happiness is what you bring inside of the relationship. That's just a contentment that you're okay with you. And when you're okay with you, and you love you, and you know, you love the way you look, you love the way you show up, you love how you feel, you love the things that you've been learning, you love the things that you've been doing, then you love yourself, and somebody is going to find you to be amazing. And if you want somebody with a certain amount of money, then all you have to do is do all that stuff as a practice, and then begin to show up in places where those people are. And you know, because you're so happy, and because you're so content, because you're living a life where you're looking how you want to look, you're presenting how you want to present, and you are being how you want to be, you're feeling how you know, love to feel, then you're going to be absolutely irresistible to someone in those places where you show up. And as you get to know people and talk to people and date people, then you'll find out, and you'll find yourself being able to choose from the people who are running after you, and maybe even panting after you. You'll find yourself being able to choose, rather than running behind somebody asking, what can I do? You know, why doesn't anybody like me? Or why don't the people that I like me? It's because you haven't done enough of what you need to do so that you like you, so that you are truly enjoying yourself and your life. That's what I think. That's what I think. And so that call and that interview, it was a disaster. It was a train wreck. It was cringy, and it was really sad. But I'm gonna be fair. I could, you know, the woman didn't pick up on any of the clues that he was trying to give her. And he basically told her, I can't remember the exact wording, but he told her, okay, well, I'm going to make an example out of you. He gave her many chances actually to get out of the conversation, to get off the call, to go to his website and set up a coaching. Like, he gave her opportunities. And I'm not saying that he gave her opportunities because then it was okay for him to just utterly smash her the way that he did. Like, you know, I think that was very, very cruel. And that could be because she's not his type of woman, and it could just be because he was intent upon making an example out of her. You know, like I don't watch his show. You know, I've never seen it before, other than watching this show for the purpose of researching, you know, all of what I heard. So, you know, I don't know what type of women he's into, what his platform is all about. But I do know that for whatever reason, he was intent upon, you know, trying to convince this woman that she does not deserve whatever it is that she feels like she deserves and, you know, ought to be able to have for whatever reasons. I think it might have been a combination of, this is my personal opinion, I think it might have been a combination of the fact that she was not his type. She also was not listening. She was not listening. And he has a show that, you know, the more sensational it is, the more viewers he's going to get on that video, the more he's going to be perpetually paid on that video. So I don't know what was going through his mind, but I suspect it was any combination of all of that and even plus some more. He might be an abusive guy. He might just, you know, he might also be emotionally abusive and just be very good at it. He absolutely seemed to be, to me. But like I said, I'm gonna give him credit where the credit is due him. Although I did not agree with his advice that he gave her, I did not agree with his perspective. What I am going to give him the credit for and discredit her on is that she absolutely did not listen to what he was saying. For her to be a fan of the show and like his show, quote unquote, the way that she said, she should know that he seems to be very intent upon staying on topic. And he gave her fair warning, actually several warnings, that you are trying to take me off topic. This is not my topic. This is very disrespectful. The topic is this. Why don't you go over to my website and book a coach, book a session, and we can talk about this off the phone. This woman begged and pleaded for what she got. And, you know, I think she was hoping that he would do her right, but he probably just mirrored the way that, you know, things probably happen a lot in her relationships, which is that she probably you know, begs for people to do her right, and then they don't. because of the desperation that's, oozing up out of her for somebody to love her and listen to her and care about what she's saying and take care of her. You don't seek that. you don't seek that kind of validation. It actually is just, I don't know, it's repelling. It's like it brings in the absolute opposite of what it is that you are seeking. It seems to be the more desperate that you are for someone to validate you and care about what I'm saying, but at the same time, she wasn't going through the proper channels, and he did tell her. He specifically told her, okay, I'm gonna just go ahead and use this. I mean, I don't see how she overlooked all of that. I really don't, because it was obvious to me. It was obvious that he, even after he was asking her questions, it was only like he was just probing her, like an investigator, to look and see, what he could find wrong. It wasn't like he was looking for anything sincerely. It was more of an interrogation. And I'm gonna have to say that was her bad, because she should have listened to him, and she should have heard, she should have caught on to all of the warning signs that he was giving her, that this was not getting ready to be a loving, fatherly, friendly conversation. This has been another one of Kelly's wordy reactions. I hope you were able to hang in there with me while I worked all this through and out. I hope you have a great day. Bye.